For as long as I can remember, Cody's world was one of solitude. Growing up mostly on his own, he became content with his toys, his routines, and eventually his one constant companion, the iPad. To him, it was more than a device. It was entertainment, comfort, and escape, all rolled into one. To us, it was both a blessing and a burden. On one hand, it gave him focus and calm. On the other, it pulled him further into himself, making the outside world fade away. Like many parents, we worried. We'd read the warnings about screen time, heard the lectures about how too much technology isn't good for them. And like many parents, we did what we could to set limits. But what followed was a battlefield. The moment we imposed restrictions, the storms came. Meltdowns, aggression, screaming, shouting, and even conflict between my wife and I as we debated what the right approach was. Some days we stood firm. Other days, for the sake of peace, we surrendered. We attempted everything we could think of. Bribes, rewards, tricks like pretending the internet wasn't working, even though it was just as inconvenient for us. For a while, it felt like the iPad was winning, and we were simply just clinging on. In the back of my mind, I kept wondering, how do we turn this around? How do we shift his attention without constant battles? But the answers never seemed to come. Then, out of nowhere, came a change we didn't orchestrate. New neighbours moved in, a family with 3 kids, all slightly younger than Kody. At first, nothing shifted. There were polite hellos across the fence, the kids waving at each other with little interaction. But slowly, the walls began to come down. The parents became our friends, and the kids started to play together. And when a couple more kids from nearby joined in, the games began. Tag, hide and seek, and all the simple timeless play that fills a childhood. At first, Kody clung to his iPad. He would step outside with it in his hand, almost as if it was his ticket into the world. But then something surprising happened. The more the children played, the less the iPad seemed to matter. One afternoon, he sat it down as he played with the kids. The next, it stayed inside. Before long, it was gathering dust on the table while he played outside, running and laughing with the other children. That's when it hit me. The iPad wasn't the real problem. It's only an option when nothing else more exciting exists. Given the choice between connection and screen time, Kody chose connection every time. I had been so fixated on the problem of the iPad that I hadn't noticed his natural drive for friendship and play. That shift in perspective changed my perception. Instead of fighting against the iPad, I began looking for opportunities that were more bigger, better, and meaningful. Opportunities that were more than what screen time brought out in him. That's how we found ourselves signing up for soccer, surf lifesaving, air rifle shooting, and swimming. Activities filled with movement, challenge, and most importantly, kids. I've come to accept that I will never completely win against technology. But maybe winning isn't the point. The point is balance, as best as we can achieve this. And balance for us comes from presenting Kody with experiences, connection, and fun, where the iPad simply becomes one option among many, not the only option. Now, reflecting on this, I once saw the iPad as a war between Kody and the world. What I've learned is that it was just a placeholder. Given the right conditions, the laughter of other kids, the thrill of a game, and belonging to a team, the iPad is a second thought. The lesson wasn't about banning technology, it was about broadening horizons. By shifting my focus from what I wanted to limit to what I could offer instead, I discovered that Kody didn't need pushing. He just requires something worth running towards. Knowing full well that this requires me to be fully involved is challenging. However, watching him play games that involve human interaction is priceless. Thank you for being part of our journey. If this story resonated with you, hit subscribe and share your own wins in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And join us for more stories, insights, and reflections.